All righty, and we are live. Welcome to the BrainDrive weekly development call live stream. We do these calls every Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time to update on our progress from the previous week and plan out the coming week. I'm Dave Waring, and I handle the operations side here at BrainDrive.
And I'm David Jones, and I handle the technical operations side here at BrainDrive.
Our mission here at BrainDrive is to build a superior user-owned alternative to big tech AI systems, and we call that system BrainDrive. Let me share so you can see it on the screen here. This is our user-owned MIT licensed open source AI system, and it's built with one goal in mind, which is to help you succeed. And we do that by sort of positioning the whole platform around helping you set, define, and reach your goals. So we have the system prompt and the different pages you'll see here on the left-hand side act like projects. If you're familiar with any sort of project management, you know how important it is to define your user stories and then set up your build plan to work with your developers. We found that this process works very well with AI across any area of your life. So we've got this set up where your brain drive interviews you and then creates a specifications plan, or a specifications document rather, which allows you to align with the AI on what success looks like for you. Then you create a build plan with your AI system to start executing against what success looks like for you. Right now, this is to help you really define what success looks like and to execute that plan. But as anyone who deals with AI and AI agents knows, this is the most important part and the foundation for really anything that you want to do in partnering with AI. So this is both very useful as a first step in helping you set your goals and work towards those goals, and also sets you up for whatever comes next in the future. And that's also what we're building here at BrainDrive is a system that really the sky's the limit. So this is built on what we refer to as the personal AI architecture. We have a site on that which basically makes all of the components of this system swappable and locks you into the one component of your system that you actually do want to be locked into if you have a personal AI system, which is what we refer to as your memory. And your memory is what makes your AI system personalized to you. And BrainDrive and the personal AI architecture are designed so that you can always take your memory with you to any new AI system, and that every other component in the system is swappable, which allows you to adapt at the speed of AI. So with that, I'll turn it over to Dave to update us on the progress from last week.
Well, we had, I guess, a few things going together, diverging, and slowly coming back now this week. So we kind of focused a bit on the local, because that was where we viewed our first users are going to come from and where we want to introduce the software initially to. Um, but at the same time, we have managed hosting hovering right along with the local. It just needs a little bit more work for it to be fully caught up. And we want to really do some due diligent testing on that to make sure that the experience that the first user has is what we envisioned for the product. So we're going to allow the local people to kind of help us push it there faster while we do some behind the scenes magic on that. And Nav has been really pushing that can down the road for the most part. And Dave with testing. They've been going back and forth. But on the local front, let's get to that. We've done quite a few little things this week. I can share my screen because some of them are actually in front of what people can see. So let's go to there, and there's mine. And here's my little copy that I play around and test with. One of the key things is, of course, get into the settings. If it's your memory, you have to be able to control it, own it, and have it all across so that you can do anything you want with it. And that has come from this week into two different areas where you can actually migrate your library. Let's say you're on one system, be it local, managed hosting, or you have a laptop and a desktop, and you have your memory built up from right there. And you're like, okay, I really want this to be on my laptop now, or my desktop, or I want to get managed hosting so that I can actually use this when I'm flying around in a hotel or anything like that. This would allow you to quickly download the library and then migrate it over to another system, and you would not lose a beat from that point forward. The second thing we did is just backing up your memory. even if you're on one system, the ability to, hey, I don't trust the internet, you don't trust servers, you don't trust your own PC. And that goes with everything. It's like if you don't have three copies of something, you generally are waiting to lose it, as far as the tech business goes. So you can apply that to your personal life as far as your information goes, and it can tell you when the last time you saved. And this, however, the backup does not include your what I call secrets. Those are API keys and things of that nature. Simply because these are expected to, you could put them in a location that may not be as secure as you want it to be. It could be your Google Drive. And so if your Google Drive got hacked, all of a sudden it would be more than just your memory. It would could be all your API keys and things of that nature. So I felt for that right there, initially, we're just gonna no secrets will be involved on your backup. Later on down the road, there might be a checkbox to say, "Hey, include my settings or include my secrets," but that'll be up to you. That'll be, but for precautionary sakes, while we're in testing, we're just not going to include them.
And Dave,
Um,
how does that backup happen?
okay. It happens right now. We have GitHub. We're going to allow other connections soon in the future, but right now we're just starting with GitHub. You would have to have an access token to access it based because like your my GitHub is private on this one, so nobody can see my memories and stuff like that. So you need a token to access it and to push updates forward. You can determine here the frequency of
Aha.
when updates take place. Right now, I have mine set to manual so that I can see to make sure it's actually doing what I want. But any change that you make, it'll trigger it. You can do it every hour or every day. Those are my initial when I was coding it.
And in terms of manual, is there a trigger to make it happen
Yep, right
manually, or
here.
how does,
Save
oh,
now.
you do it right there.
Yep,
Okay, that
right
makes
here.
sense.
Yeah, I just wanted to keep it, where it would be, mentally, you know where that's going to be.
And then for the daily and hourly, et
Yep.
cetera, that's LLM trick. Like, is it just how are
Well,
you?
there's a little loop in the background, and it's okay. You've been working for an hour or every change, and it's part of the process. We're not trying to take up really LLM space for this because it's not
Okay, so it
necessary.
happens without LLM
Yeah.
calls, so this would not be something that would be eating tokens.
Correct, correct. And that was the vision of this. So that way, if you want to be
That's awesome.
diligent, be diligent and have it every save or every time you say, okay, let's say you add something to one of your project areas, it just saves automatically. You don't have to worry about $10,000 token bill at the end of the month
Yeah,
because you were
right.
aggressive in saving, those kind of
And
things.
that's great. And I had one other question there. I've lost it. All right. Well,
It
that's good.
happens.
That's great. Those are two big items on the to-do list that were checked off last week.
Yep. Let's see. What else do I have on my list here? We've a bunch of we'll call it housekeeping stuff, the terms of service, the roadmap. We've just sundry of files where Dave has. I really haven't touched them other than he says, "Hi, change this," and we go through it. And other than that, for Dave's information, we've started protecting our main branch on the repo. So we've got that taken care of. Olama is working now. We tested that last week. Let's see. I have the build process where all except for the dev are using our pre-built image. So we have everything on the same sheet of music. And then the dev is on a Docker image with the clone code on top of it. So that if you want to do development, you want to just see how it works under the hood, you'd be able to do that. And if you want to really get involved, make it yours, or you find something that you could help us with on our list, you can do that and push those changes forward as well from that. The only thing I have left to do on that, if I don't even get involved, that'll just come later when we talk about what I want to do this week. No need to do it. Let's see. Yep.
There was some cleanups, right, too, like the user UX stuff that I sent through
Yep.
that you resolved.
Yeah, that was going on my fix list where we did the context window. There was an error we found when Dave was using it quite aggressively. We've cleaned up that so that we're not trying to stuff everything into the context window, and it's actually put together based on the I'll call it the importance of the information. So it has taken the agent file, it's taken your actual plan, your spec, your interview process. And then after that will come the history of the conversation as much as it can take from that. So that way, the always where the important information is done first, and then the not so important information that just kind of will maybe add a little flavor to whatever is going on, will get added in later after that. We hammered out a Mac install this week. We any issues with that we were able to clean up. Basically, a lot of just dot and I's. The flicker on the sidebar, Dave experience, and boom, boom, boom. Anything else?
So I think
Oh,
the last thing for BrainDrive, from my perspective, which is on my list, is some improvements to the agent.md
yep.
files to make sure that all the files are being written and everything. Um, on my side, I wanted to make sure that since technically we can launch without the optimizations on the
Hmm.
agent.md file, I wanted to see if I could sort of do all the things that we definitely have to have for launch. So that's what Dave was talking about.
Yep.
We have all of our policies now on the main brain drive site. You can see them here at the bottom. So this is all the legal stuff, check boxes that we have to check off there. And then I started working on the course again, and I'm almost there in terms of the all the text for this. And while I was here, I just wanted to kind of clean up the forum. I think we've got this looking pretty good
Hmm.
now. And let me just see if I can log out here. Where do I do that? Yeah, here we go. So now when people come to the forum, we're all brand aligned there and everything since I was doing that for the course. And another thing that I did here is I created an image generator so that we can really quickly create brand aligned images
Yep.
around all of our content. And I'm working on a video pipeline, which also um, I use for our context window conversation, Dave. Actually, let me go
Hmm.
to this on the community. But right here.
Yep.
So this is the portion of last week's video where we talked about context window, along with a post describing how we think about the context
Yep.
window and how it works. And this, including the clipping of the video, was all done by AI. And this is
Oh.
something when we had the previous version of BrainDrive, I would spend an hour or two a day, clipping videos and putting them into the forum. So, this will be a big time saver and allow us also to create content much faster and still, without losing any sort of quality or anything like that. So excited about that. And then let me see what else was on my list from last week. Oh, all the security, dotting the I's and
Yep.
checking the T's or what, crossing the
Yeah.
T's and dotting the I's. I want to we have a lot of different services now, especially with BrainDrive
Yep.
Concierge coming, which is our managed hosting plus private community service that we're going to be launching. And I want to make sure that we have a list of all those, exactly what all those things do in
Hmm.
case someone gets hit by a bus, God forbid.
Yep.
And that also they're secure. So adding two-factor authentication to everything and just sort of battening down the hatches on all that. So I'm up to speed and good with all that now. I finished that up this morning. And yeah, those were the main things from my list for last week. So for this week, I want to finally finished the course. I've been sort of in the final stages of that for too long now, so it's time to I've reached the point that I just kind of need to say
Buckle
it's as
up and
good
get
as
it
it's
done.
going to be. Let's just do it. But I'm very excited about the
Yep.
course. And then I want to make sure I get on those
Yep.
agent.md files changes, and there's a few little just tweaks to. We have a few little things in the interface that are just like cosmetic, like it currently says, ask your AI how much budget you have left, and
Yep.
that doesn't actually work. And so a few things like that. to clean up, and I want to go through the stuff that Dave has done and make sure it works for me as well.
Yep.
So I think those will be the big things for me this week. How about from your side, Dave?
I got a few things. First one is I want to verify all the builds that we have. Do we need them? I think the quick start is unneeded, but before I yanked it, I wanted to do diligence and make sure that so that we would only have three versions at that point, which would be the dev, the local, and production. I think the quick start just got snuck in there when I was initially building and getting this going, and it's an artifact of something not necessary. But I
Okay.
wanted to make sure we had nothing kind of banging against it or expecting it before I just yanked it. Um,
Yep.
and that's what part of last week was about. At the end of the week, getting all the pre-builds where they need to be, and then the dev build where it needed to be, and that they were running how they should be. The second thing is while you're doing the agent file, I want to see the SMS come alive. And that is going to coincide with me trying to get a tool that I call Vibe Runner. And my vision is to be able to hand the spec that we have for using SMS to Vibe Runner and say, hey, add and test this to the BrainDrive project and let it go and see what happens. Because basically what I'm going to do on that one. And the result should be that it should be working, even with minimal, nothing's telling me that this thing's breaking yet, but what I need for this is to have real life problems to solve so that it can solve them, test them, and then get back with me and say, hey, I'm really done. And that was a failure of it before this weekend. So I'm pretty happy to see that moving along. Because if we can come out of next week, I think with the local install ironed out and of any small issues and all like that, the agent file performing where you want it to be from the user side, and then us adding I guess, our second interface, which would be SMS. And a lot of things haven't approached that one. They hit not we don't expect a lot of our users to be on Discord and things like that, but SMS, everybody has a phone, everybody's texting. So we felt that was the first targeted approach to a new way to interact with BrainDrive.
If there's one thing I could add to that, which
Yep.
is reviewing Navine's managed
Yeah.
hosting,
Oh yeah.
well, the admin dashboard, but specifically just for the local, for people that want to
Yep.
use BrainDrive models for their local
Yep.
install. I think that would be the one thing from your side that I would need before launch. And I actually think we can get some people on BrainDrive this week, even before like a bigger
Yep.
push, just to start getting some feedback at that
Yeah, I
point.
forgot that was on my list of getting all his stuff down and just first targeting, of course, the admin credit section of it because that deals with the local as well. But also having it completely here for me to go through all of it and get really familiar with what's going on inside it so that we can have more long-winded conversations about it and push it forward. So when somebody says, hey, this doesn't work, I'm not going, oh, hold on a minute, I got to figure out what this does. I can just go right to it, just like BrainDrive. Makes it easy.
Cool. Um, Great. So I think those are the main things for this week. We're kind of in push to launch
Yep.
mode right now.
Yeah. In fact,
Um,
this will be the first time after Monday we will do a build, do a change log that goes with the build so that that entire information pipeline is going to start getting automated as well. Because like your videos, it like used to take 2 hours. This could slowly start to eat up 2 hours as well. So I was like, let's go ahead and automate it now and get it so that we can go, hey, we're going to do a build. It'll take care of the entire build cycle of putting the build image together, getting the necessary pieces uploaded, using the change log that I already have AI auto creating for me, taking that, putting it into the release. And so it has all information. And because now we're built on our builds are based on date, we don't have to worry about the incremental of trying to assign a number that really has no meaning. We now know the meaning of the number, which is just basically the date. Like today would be 28.4.13.
so
So you would
you're gonna put out a build after today's call or
Yep.
no?
Oh yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah. So the
Okay,
build images. So everything we did last week, which is so far has been tested perfectly. To include Nav did a release this morning. I caught that one, and I did one as well.
great. So will there be a change log with this build or no?
Yes. Yeah. Oh yes. Yep. Yep.
And do we have like all the steps AI-ified yet, or is
Not
that still
nope,
in the
nope, nope.
works?
That's where I'm good because I'm taking my all my steps have been individually done with AI. Now it's time to create one massive workflow for the whole thing and go click. That's what today
Okay.
is.
And you think you'll have that for next week or no?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. No, this is like I said, the pieces I've already been doing, so it's like I'm not worried about that. It's like putting it all together so it can work through in one swoop motion. That's what I want to see.
All right, great. Let me just make sure there's no questions in the chat. Nope, not for today. Anything else you want to talk about before we sign off?
No, I'm good. I think we got a pretty good. If we can nail down both the agent side, cleaning up the little dots, the I's dotted and the T slashes, and maybe do texting next week, that would be a really successful week right there.
Yes, it would. All right, very good. So with that, we'll leave it there. As we said at the beginning of the call, our mission here at BrainDrive is to build a superior user-owned alternative to big tech AI systems. We do these calls every Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So we encourage you to join us here in the live stream on YouTube. These calls are open to all. And also we post the recordings over on our forums at community.braindrive.ai. And with that, we'll see you next week.
Have a good one.
Thank you.